What's up, YouTube? This is Dave, also known as Loving Them Trains, and I'm back with another project. So right now you're looking at the left side of my large truss bridge on my layout, and as I pan across, you can see the middle section, which is the larger section, and then the last section, which imitates the first section. Well, I did a video when I initially installed this bridge about 6 years ago. It's pretty hard to believe that it's been here this long, but it's definitely a centerpiece to the layout. And when Alan built the bridge for me, he did a great job, as he does with everything he does for me. And really, to be honest, you can just, once you get the items that he's constructed for you and built for you, you can put them right on the layout without any alterations. But in the case of this bridge, I wanted to detail it. And Alan and I have a thing where when we discuss what I'm going to have him construct for me, it's always inevitable that I'm going to do some kind of modification. I guess that gives me a little bit of gratification that I actually participated in the project more than just contributing the funds for it. So on this, because it's such an eye catcher when you come into the train room, I wanted to do a little bit more with it. Right now it's just, black, and it just sits there and it looks wonderful, but when you look up close, there's not a lot of detail. And that was purposeful because I knew later on I wanted to do my own detailing. All right, so I got this 21.5-inch section off and on the workbench so I can start working on it. I want to kind of tell you a little bit about what I ended up coming up with after probably a few months of research. I wanted to go online and just start asking questions and talking to people about how they created rivets. And one of the first things I thought about using was a pounce wheel. And I'm not going to show it, but on some of these I-beams, I kind of experimented with those with a pounce wheel. And immediately I found that it was not, basically the detail of the rivet was not showing. And even with painting, I would have to do probably several things to even give an illusion that there were rivets even in place. But the thing with using the pounce wheel is you don't get to see the rivet head, which is pretty much what I was going for. So I just had that pounce wheel for some other projects, mainly wood projects and plastic projects, buildings where I wanted that detail and it was appropriate, but not for a bridge. But it was a good try to get me thinking. Then the other thing was I said, let me see what the modelers have used for this particular application to a bridge. And I immediately got responses. You need to go and see about getting these rivet decals from a company called Archer. So I ended up doing that. And the first thing I found out is the company was out of business or going out of business. So the only way I was going to get these rivets were to go to the secondhand market, which I did. I went on eBay, bought a few packages, but it just was not enough for all three sections. And I just took a stab at it. I emailed the owner, and he happened to have several packages still left and offered to give them to me for a wonderful price. So I went with them. So I thought, oh man, I'm in good shape. This is really gonna come to fruition. And this is what those Archer rivets look like, the packaging. And here's what they look like. And these are actually embossed, so when I rub my hand against the packaging, it's you can feel the rivets. And I also went to Micromark and I got their version as well, just to make sure, because even with all of the um, rivets I bought from Archer, or not from Archer, well, I guess technically I did buy some from Archer, but all of the Archer decals I bought, I still was worried that I would not have enough, once I got started. So I just wanted to have backup. And if you notice, both of those patterns are all straight patterns. The problem is, if you look at the gusset plates, the gusset plates require different patterns to simulate the I-beams, horizontal and diagonal, going up into the gusset. So that became my dilemma for a while. I didn't see anything. Looked at Tichy products. They had some gusset plate type things. But it just seemed like I couldn't really find what I was looking for as far as a pattern. And this is a scratch built structure, so it's not like there's a standard there where I could just go out and go to the company and say, hey, I need to get gusset plates, rivets. So this was definitely going to have to be something that I was going to have to probably create myself. So I went to an engineering friend and put our heads together, and the first thing he said was, we probably need to create patterns and use some styrene. And so he's a CAD master, so we went to work on CAD, and we came up with these. So what these are patterns of the gusset plates that they are the exact size as on the actual bridge. And along with that, we created the patterns that will simulate these I-beams going up into the gusset plate. And then what ended up happening is, once we got the patterns where they needed to be, we got some 20 thou styrene and glued a sheet of the decal, or the cutouts, not cutouts, the sheet with all of the gusset plate designs on them like this onto the styrene, and went to cutting. Once all of the gusset plates were cut out of the styrene, we then took a interesting contraption, if you will, called a staker, which apparently is a device that watchmakers used. And it has many different sizes, and so we found the size to match the size of the rivets on the CAD drawings, and basically we used it to punch through or punch the rivets, and you get kind of an embossed rivet, which actually shows a rivet head detail the kind that I was actually looking for. So I thought that his idea was ingenious. I'm sure other people have used it before. He said it's been what he's used that particular device for as well in the past. So that turned out to be really nice. So I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's applied. All right, so I just wanted to show you what I had to do. What I did was scraped on these gusset plates, scraped some of the paint off, actually all of the paint off that was put on there, just to help with the adhesion. And I'm using this Plastruct welding glue. I actually used, we used another type of glue when Bruce was helping me to apply these on the other bridges, and I'll show that at the end of the video what we use. But I found that this works quite well. I've already got a couple of these already glued on the other side, just to test to see how that was actually going to work on these two right here on the end. So I'm going to, at this point, since these are already ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and start applying the decals, and this will actually complete the gusset plate application. And then I'll just be figuring out if I'm going to just go with that or if I'm going to add any additional rivets. So let me get to gluing and I'll be right back. All right, so here is one of the 21.5-inch sections with the actual gusset plates installed, and I think it came out wonderful. The rivet detail is very visible, and once this is painted, it'll be a little more hidden, so it's not in your face. But I think with starting out like this, it will definitely give that illusion that I'm looking for. So that was a lot of work, and I could probably just leave it just like this. Bruce, the gentleman that helped me with this, said that the justification could be that once the I-beams were delivered, they were already welded before they were shipped to the area where they're going to be putting the bridge together. So my only thing with that is I bought all of these decals and I want to use them. So it just really depends on how far I want to take the project, how much time I want to spend on it. But I could really, it's good to know that I could really stop right here and just get to painting and weathering the bridge. But we'll see. So what I have to do at this point is go through with the other bridges and install all of the gusset plates, which I have not done. I've only done it on this particular bridge. And there's a little bit of sanding that has to be done just to completely match the pattern of the gusset under. Just a little bit of trimming, which is not a problem. That doesn't take long at all. But I'm really happy with how this turns out. So I'm going to finish up the rest of these, and then we'll come back and see what I've decided as far as the I-beams go.